Hello, everybody, and welcome to this special edition of the Wrestling Forum exclusively on YouTube and StreamYard.com. It is Girl MF Michael Fletcher alongside the Twisted Angel Dee Woodson. We're awaiting Michael Bullock. We're hoping to get him in. However, we do want to let you guys know Anthony Florio will not be on the show tonight due to commitments beyond his control. However, he will be back tomorrow night to host Ridiculously Raw right here on StreamYard and YouTube on his page. So with that said, we're just going to dive right in, guys. It was TLC live tonight from the Target Center in Minneapolis, Minnesota, exclusively on the WWE Network. And let's just dive right in. We started it off with the SmackDown Tag Team Championships, the New Day versus the Revival. Oh, man. What a way to jump off this show. The New Day successfully defends the tag team titles. 3.5 to 3 3/4 of a star. You could even make an argument that this was the fight of the night. This was an absolute tremendous match. I was thoroughly enthused with this match. The ladder match element was beautifully incorporated in the fight, and the way that they did this was so good. I don't think you could have done any better with Dawson, with Wilder, with Kofi. The way that they were doing some of the stunts, especially Kofi, man. I mean, human highlight reel throughout the fight. This was amazing. This was awesome. To me, this is a fight of the night candidate. No doubts in my mind. 3.5 stars to 3 3/4. Dee Woodson, I give it to you.
Okay, where are we?
The New Day versus the Revival, the SmackDown Tag Team title fight.
Yeah, that was about 3.5 stars. That was a very, very good match. I mean, they delivered, and they are continuing the storyline with Zelina and Andrade. Apparently, I guess they are going to eventually split. I don't know, but the match itself was a great way to start off the pay-per-view. It was definitely a great match. So I'll toss it back to you.
All right, so we're going to go right into the next fight of the night, which was Aleister Black going one-on-one with Buddy Murphy. Aleister Black wins the match in 13 minutes and 45 seconds. Dee, very good match. Solid fight, to say the very least. Aleister gets the victory over Buddy Murphy.
Yeah, I'm going to give this one actually 4 stars. So for me, this was definitely the fight of the night. These guys did a great job. They took it, to the limit. Both guys delivered the hard-hitting show. So yeah, I don't really have anything negative to say that. I mean, this was, like I said, this is my fight of the night. These guys delivered and more. I mean, this was definitely better than I expected these two to actually be. So yeah, it's yours.
Well, you know what? I'm not going to give it the 4. But I do agree that this is also another one of the top fights of the evening. I'm going to openly say this really was a great match. No doubt about it. 3 3/4 for me. You know what? You can't say anything about it. This was the best that Aleister Black has looked on the main roster. For Buddy Murphy, this is the best he's looked since actually winning the Cruiserweight Championship of the World over Cedric Alexander in Melbourne, Australia, in his home country when he won that title. And that was an incredible fight. This was a solid match. This had everything to go. I really have nothing bad to say about this one, so we're just going to move right along. The next fight was the open challenge for the Raw Tag Team Championship. The Viking Raiders put the titles on the line. The OC was the ones that took up the challenge. The fight ends in a double count out in 8 minutes and 30 seconds by rule. Automatically, NA does not get a no rating here. The fight was good. It was a decent match. up until the ending. And the thing is that the ending itself is kind of necessary. I'm not going to gripe about it too hard, which I know a lot of people have, but I could live with this. This was one of those fights that, it happened. The end happened. That's the way it's gonna go. I don't got a big gripe about it. I'm not gonna make a big stink about it. I just feel like it could have been a lot more better than what we got. But it is what it is. I'll live with it. This was at least 1.5 to 2 up until the ending. So there's really nothing more to say. Didi Woodson, I'll give it to you.
Yeah, I can agree with that. I mean, it was okay, but was a very flat finish. So yeah, not much I'm going to say on it. So it's yours.
All right, the next fight we had was King Corbin versus Roman Reigns, TLC, tables, ladders, and chairs. And King Corbin wins the match, but Corbin had a lot of interference in this fight. He had the Revival, he had Dolph Ziggler, and basically it was 4-on-1 at one point, and that was the only way they could put down the big dog and take out Roman Reigns. Didi, I know we despise it, but you kind of have to feel storyline progression. It was a long fight, 22 minutes and 20 seconds, but the outcome definitely not to our satisfaction.
No, not to our satisfaction at all. I'm only giving it 1.5 stars. It was good, but it went too long, and there's just too much, too much that went on in it. From Ziggler popping in to Revival popping in, and I don't know who all else was out there. I guess security or something, they attacked about everybody, so I don't know. So I'll give it back to you.
Yeah, this was a major league letdown. There's no doubt about it. I think a lot of people were wondering how did this play out? I know a lot of people were really upset about this fight. But if you're gonna storyline progression it is necessary. And in a way, it does make Roman a little bit of a sympathetic figure. He could overcome all kinds of odds and everything else, but this time around, the odds were just too much to handle. Even for Roman Reigns, you couldn't overcome those odds. 4-on-1, and that's a complete and utter wash in the whole situation. But it gives King Corbin legitimate heat, and boy, did he get a lot of heat for this. He gets a lot of heat. That's great for his character. Roman could, there's no doubt about it. Anything can happen, and I don't think it's going to be that much of a major problem. We'll wait and see what happens down the line, but big win for him, and big win for King Corbin, so we got nothing more to say. The next fight of the night we had was the Universal title on the line, as it was not the Fiend Bray Wyatt, just Firefly Funhouse Bray Wyatt. He went 1-on-1 with The Miz. Bray Wyatt wins the match in 6 minutes and 40 seconds. And on top of it, the fight was fine. The fight was all right. I'll give it about maybe 1.5 stars. It was a short match. But what did come out of this was Daniel Bryan came back and attacked Bray Wyatt. But not just Daniel Bryan. He's got a new look. A brand new look. The beard is gone. He is now more clean shaven. He's got a little bit of what I got. He's got a little bit of the scruff. It's not big time scruff, but it's more of, he's got a little bit of the beard, but it's all shaven in. The hair is gone. Like, and a lot of people were saying it. He looks like the American Dragon, Daniel Bryan. This looks like Bryan Danielson when he first started in WWE during the Tough Enough days. This was the Bryan Danielson of Ring of Honor days. And if this is what they're giving us, oh man, I like what I see. I loved him as the American Dragon, Bryan Danielson. He's got the look again. The long hair is gone. The beard, the bearded goat, the Billy face goat is gone. If he goes back to the American Dragon Bryan Danielson look, and he's going to bring this to the table, good look out, because the American Dragon Bryan Danielson was a guy that gave 0 Fs. He didn't give a damn about anything. If he throws that role and incorporates that to go after the Fiend Bray Wyatt, let me say, Bray Wyatt, I gotta admit, the lead up to him versus The Miz was probably the most personal rivalry I've ever seen. And the body of work that they brought just in a mere 2 weeks to build that storyline up was probably the most creative and brilliant WWE has ever done with that rivalry, because it was a match that was like, oh man, I don't want to see The Miz versus Bray Wyatt. Why would we want to care about that fight or anything else? They made us care in literally 2 weeks. This had a 2-week build, and it felt like it was months that it was going to culminate in a mega fight, and that the build was like a year to build up, because it got personal. It was fiery. It exploded into something good. Now, the match didn't deliver the way that the lead up to the fight was, but to the credit to both men, it was a solid performance. But we know this was only just a placeholder, because now this was the appetizer. The main course is now coming, and that's Daniel Bryan versus the Fiend Bray Wyatt. And now we got the perfect way to load it up. The first pay-per-view of the new decade at Minute Maid Park in Houston, Texas for the Royal Rumble. That's right. I'm pretty sure this is going to get pulled. Daniel Bryan versus the Fiend Bray Wyatt, the Universal title on the line at the Royal Rumble event. You can't go any better than that. Didi Woodson?
I realize
All yours.
that by being in the WWE Hall,
Yeah, he was definitely the look of Daniel was definitely the look that you had when he first came into WWE with Tough Enough. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, I liked the fact that The Miz was so serious in this match. That they, he took this the way he should have. As a father trying to protect his child and his family, and from the Bray Wyatt that we saw tonight, which was really bizarre, because he seemed to enjoy the pain and even put himself in even more pain. And then you had the one pop up on the screen, and then he just talks to it, the picture, and it's like, okay, So yeah, I mean, it was a good match. I'll agree, about 1.5 stars. But yeah, seeing Daniel come back, I mean, that was just That was awesome, and I think they're probably using what the Fiend did to him to bring in this new excuse me, Daniel Bryan, like we've seen with the new Seth Rollins and the new Finn Balor and so on and so forth. So not much more I'm going to say. It's yours.
All right. So with that said, then we do move on to the next match of the night, which was Bobby Lashley versus Rusev in a tables match. Bobby Lashley wins the match, 13 minutes and 30 seconds. I think we all can agree. Let's hope this is the end of the storyline here, that this is the end of the war. I know a lot of people's been all over this. A lot of people's hated this storyline. Maybe now we finally got resolution. Bobby Lashley beats Rusev. Didi, just give me a rating for the match.
Yeah, I'll give it probably 1 star. Yeah, I'm one of the ones. I'm hoping this is over. I didn't like it, so it's yours.
All right. Yeah, I'm in agreement here. I'll give this about maybe 1. I'll give this about 1 star. Nothing more to say. We're just gonna give it right into the main event, which was for the WWE Women's Tag Team Championship in a tables, ladders, and chairs match. It was the Kabuki Warriors, Kairi Sane and Asuka, putting the titles on the line against Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair, the winners of the bout, in an even 26 minutes. And still, the women's tag team champions of the world, the Kabuki Warriors, they wins the title. All right, I'm gonna say it. Very good match. It was boring in certain areas. It wasn't the most flawless or perfect fight. It was good. It was solid. It definitely deserved the main event spot. I think there was no doubt in my mind this match deserved to be the main event. But the one thing that it did make, it solidified the Kabuki Warriors as big names now. And the reason why I say that is that obviously you kind of feel like Becky Lynch and Asuka is the next program for the women's title. Now that gives a reason for Asuka to go after Becky Lynch and for the women's championship. But it also brings a little bit of legitimacy to the women's tag team titles because it now gives them the avenue for that. And on top of that, it also solidifies Kairi and Asuka as a whole to take down the 2 biggest names on Monday Night Raw, the 2 biggest women on the women's roster, Becky Lynch and Charlotte Flair. I got nothing wrong with this. I thought this was a great way to solidify them. This was a moment for them more than anything else. So great job by the women. This was a great main event. I got nothing bad to say about it. So nothing more to say. I could give this easily 4 stars. Didi Woodson, it's yours.
Yeah, I can agree. Not much more I'm going to say about it. I mean, it was a good match, so it's all yours.
All right. Didi, why don't you come on in and give me your overall rating for TLC?
I'm going to give it probably about, thumbs in the middle, 5 stars. It had a lot of high points, but it had a lot of low points as well. Some storyline progression, the running gag of, the Corbin Reigns match that just kind of, even after the match was over, just kind of continued as they fought in the back, they fought in the audience. They fought here, they fought there. It just kind of continued as a running gag for the rest of the night. So, and then you had, some. I don't know what you want to call the Bray Wyatt thing, but I mean, it was kind of weird. Here we've seen him as the Fiend, and then all of a sudden now we're seeing him as himself. And at the start of the match, he didn't even hardly do anything. It took Miz, hitting him a few times to get him to do anything. But yeah, I mean, I don't have a whole lot negative to say, but I would give it, the thumbs in the middle. It was okay. Wasn't the best pay-per-view that we've had, but it is what it is. So what's yours?
Yeah, I'm gonna be a little more generous with them. I'm gonna give it a solid 6 stars. I thought it was a good show. I'm not gonna say it was a blowaway because it wasn't, but the way that it started, it hit the ground running. It was a major home run. It definitely was great at the start with the tag team title fight, the SmackDown tag team titles, and then Aleister Black and Buddy Murphy was a great way to start the show. Then it kind of lost its way a little bit, with the double count out on the Raw tag team titles, the TLC, but with Roman and Corbin, the Miz versus Bray, and with I thought they kind of lost their way there. Then they kind of rebounded a little bit with Bobby Lashley and Rusev. I thought it was okay. I'm not going to call it a complete and utter disaster, but it was all right. It was pretty good, decent, not bad. And then the main event, I thought was a solid main event. I think, I know a lot of people have been very high or very hard on the women lately, especially on the women's division, but I thought they did a good job. I thought this was a very good main event, solid fight. I liked it. Like I said, it made the Kabuki Warriors. Now the Kabuki Warriors have now gotten a lot more, a larger stock out of this. So at the end of the day, I thought it was a solid show. 6 out of 10 for me. And that's it. We're done for the night, folks. So thank you, Dee Dee Woodson, as always. And we'll be back tomorrow with Anthony Florio hosting, with Michael Bullock, with Dee Dee and myself for Ridiculously Raw, as we will have the fallout for this show. And we will go on and of course, Anthony will have his Tony's Take as he'll talk about Impact Wrestling. And until then, guys, have a good night, everybody. And so long for now. Bye-bye.